Hello everyone, this is Abhijit Dasgupta from 366 Pi Tech and welcome to another session of FLO Blockchain App Development by SkyPiCast. We will be having these live online sessions till 15th of September 2018 every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturdays at 9 p.m. IST. So don't forget to tune into all of those to continue in this journey of apps development on FLO Blockchain with us. We would like to thank Ranchi Mall for their continued support in our blockchain journey. We would also like to thank the entire FLO community and its dev team especially for all the support. In this session, we will discuss about the FLO blockchain, specifically how to set up the blockchain on your computers on Windows as well as Ubuntu Linux. For this particular session, we had listed down some prerequisites or requirements that will be needed for today's session. You can head over to our YouTube channel and get the links for them on the description, including the link for downloading a copy of the blockchain from the previous session's video. So let's do a quick recap of what we discussed in the previous session. In our previous session, we discussed what FLO blockchain is and why should we use FLO blockchain. We also discussed its features, its similarities and differences with Bitcoin. One of its most important features, the FLO data, and some use cases and people who are using FLO. We saw those also. So moving on to today's areas of discussion, we would be talking about how to set up FLO blockchain on your Windows or Ubuntu Linux systems. We will be seeing and understanding what the FLO configuration file or the FLO conf file is and what are the different parameters. We will also be having a quick look at calling the RPC calls of the FLO blockchain using the debug console of the FLO wallet. We will also do some sending and receiving FLO tokens on the testnet after we have set up our wallets. So let's go ahead and start with today's discussion. Just to refresh about the philosophy and the basics of FLO, we discussed in the last session that FLO is a cryptocurrency that introduces a public record for storing information wherein its coins or tokens known as FLO are needed to pay for the storage capacity and also to reward the participants for their work on securing and distributing the net information on the network. For this particular session, since we are going to be setting up the FLO blockchain, the following components or requirements must be ready on your computers if you are planning on following the steps with us. Let's just look into what those requirements are. You will be needing a Windows or an Ubuntu based computers. Any VM like VirtualBox will also work. We will be demonstrating installation on both Windows and Ubuntu Linux on our virtual machines. You also need to have the FLO wallet downloaded for the OS of your choice from flo.cash website. If you want to sync the data pretty quickly and don't want to wait for a few hours to get that synced, you can download a copy of the FLO data which we have hosted on our Google Drive link. Its link is available in the description of our previous session's video. We will also be using that link in our YouTube video for this session also, and you can see it on the screen also. It's a Google Drive link, which is about 1.7 GB of RAR file, which gets once extracted gets to about 3 GB of FLO data blockchain. So let's just move ahead and see how we can set up the FLO on Ubuntu. Ubuntu Linux is a distribution which is widely used in today's day and age. It is one of the most popular operating systems, both in terms of server variants as well as desktop variants, with very easy to use user interface and features. To set up FLO on Ubuntu Linux, what we will be needing and the steps that we will be following is below. For running the FLO wallet in an Ubuntu Linux system, we will require an Ubuntu 16.04 LTS or long-term support version or above. It is always recommended to use the LTS or the long-term support versions of distributions of Linux. The current LTS version of Ubuntu is 18.04. For this demonstration, we will be using Ubuntu 16.04 LTS. In the Ubuntu distribution that you install, you will need to get it updated using the commands that are mentioned on screen and follow these simple steps. The steps that need to be followed are: first, you will need to install Ubuntu 16.04 LTS or above. Then you need to get it updated using sudo apt-get update followed by sudo apt-get upgrade commands. Both these commands will upgrade all the repositories and packages of the Ubuntu Linux that you have installed. The sudo command at the starting of both these commands actually runs these commands in super user or root privileges. Once we have updated and upgraded our Ubuntu version, we will need to download the FLO wallet for Ubuntu for either 32-bit or 64-bit, whichever you are using from flo.cache website. Once that is downloaded, we will extract the wallet to any directory of our choice. Once it is extracted, we can just run the wallet using the flo-qt shell script command. Once the command is run for the first time, it will ask you to set the data directory location where the entire blockchain data will get downloaded. You can leave it as default or use a custom location. After that, once the wallet is up and running, it will automatically start to sync with the FLO blockchain. Generally, it shows about 5 years and some weeks of data pending, and it slowly starts to sync the data to the current date. But if you don't want to wait so long, it actually takes about 2 to 4 hours or maybe even 6 hours based on the internet connection that you're using to sync the blockchain to the latest version. But if you don't want to wait for that long, you can just download a copy of the chain that we have uploaded on our Google Drives. It is for 23rd August 2018, and you can just download it and paste it in your data directory, and you can have the data updated till then. So let's just move ahead and see on a direct Ubuntu VM how to set up this particular FLO wallet. Please give me a moment to stop this slideshow and go to the VM. So if you see, we have here a Ubuntu Linux VM running on our system. It's a Ubuntu 16.04 LTS version Linux. So what we need to do first is we need to download, first we need to get the Ubuntu distribution updated using sudo apt-get update and sudo apt-get upgrade commands. So let's just go ahead and do that. For that, you just need to go to this particular icon in Ubuntu desktop which says search your computer. Just click on it and just start typing terminal. Once you start typing terminal, you will just see this icon called terminal. This is the console or the terminal window which lets you execute commands in Ubuntu Linux. Just click on it once and you should be presented with an Ubuntu Linux terminal window. In this window, what you need to do is you need to type this command sudo apt-get and update and just click on the enter button. Once you click on the enter button, since it's a sudo command, which means you are running this command as a super user or the root user, you need to enter the password for your super user. I'll just type in the password and click enter. Once it is clicked, once enter button is pressed, oops, I need to press it. Once the password is authenticated, Ubuntu Linux will contact all its repositories and check for the version of packages that your computer has with the repositories of Ubuntu. Since for this demonstration purpose, I have already updated and upgraded my version, this did not take long. So once this is complete in your computers, it may take a few minutes. After this update command is executed, you need to execute the second command in the list, which is sudo apt-get upgrade. This command will also take some time and some data to download. Usually it takes about 200 MB of data to download it, and then they are extracted and the packages are updated. So if you see on my screen, since I have already updated my system, it says that no zero upgraded and zero newly installed packages. So my system is currently ready to execute the FLO wallet. What I'll do is I'll just close this particular terminal window and go to the next step. The next step that we need to perform to set up the wallet is go to FLO.cache website. So we will open our web browser and go to www.flo.cache website. Once you reach the website of FLO.cache or the FLO blockchain homepage, you will see this download wallet button on the homepage. Once you hover your mouse over this button, you will see the different options of operating systems available for this wallet. What we are interested in is the Linux version for this demo. We will just click on the Linux version and the downloading should start automatically. See, it just starts and you can just click on the save file and the downloading should start and it will be saved to your downloads folder. It's a 23.9 MB file which I have already downloaded for the purpose of this demonstration. Let's just go ahead and extract and proceed with the next step. Once the file is downloaded in Ubuntu, it should be available in the download section of your file explorer. If you just open your file explorer and go to the download section, you should see the tar.gz file, which is the compressed version of the wallet file, which is available here. What you can just do is you can extract it very easily by right clicking on it and clicking the extract here button. So once it is extracted, you will see a new folder created with FLO 0.15.0. This is the recent version that was released a few months back by FLO community. What we can do is we can just copy this particular folder and keep it in a directory of our choice. For this demo purpose, I'll be keeping it in my home directory of my user. I'll just paste the folder in my home directory and you should see that there is this folder, and once I click on it, there are two folders, one is bin and one is share. The bin or the binary folder contains all the binaries for this particular FLO wallet. We will be running these from here. The next step that we need to perform is we need to start this particular FLO-Qt. If we just have a look at these particular files and try to understand what they are, the FLO-Qt is the Qt desktop variant of the FLO wallet. The FLOD file is the FLO daemon, which is the headless version of the wallet, which means you won't see any UI, but you will have all the functionalities. But for those functionalities to be accessed, you will need this FLO-CLI or the FLO command line interface to access all the commands running on the FLOD. The two different files, FLO-TX and TestFLO, are different files which are not generally used. So we will just proceed and start with running the FLO-Qt variant or the desktop variant. For that particular wallet to start, we will again need to start our terminal. And since this particular directory of FLO is in our home directory, we can just see that by using the ls command or list command. You can see that there is the FLO 0.1.5 folder available here. We will just go to that folder using the cd command and typing the name of the folder and press the enter button. Once you are there, you can just type the ls command again to see the number of directories or the names of directories that are available there. You just need to go to the bin directory using the cd command. Once you are in the bin folder, you just click on, just excuse me for a moment, please. So once we are in this particular directory, we can just click on the ls command and see that there are these files, FLO CLI, FLO D, FLO QT, and all these files which are available to be run as executables. These all files are shell script commands which can be run by typing period, / and the command that needs to be executed. In our case, we are going to start with FLO QT. So the command would be dot or period / FLO-QT, and we will just press the enter button. Once you press the enter button, this particular screen will appear on your screen, and this is just for the first run. This particular screen is asking you to set the data directory where the blockchain data will be stored. If you have two options, you can either use the default data directory or you can use a custom data directory. If you use the default data directory, the files will be stored inside your home directory, inside your username, and with a virtual folder name called .flow. That is the default directory wherein FLO Core Wallet stores its data directory. If you want, you can just change that by clicking on this radio button of custom directory and then changing or browsing to your default directory, your custom directory. What I'll do for this particular demonstration is I will leave it to the default directory and just click on OK. If I can just bring your notice to this particular line, it says that 23 GB of data is needed. This is not accurately, fully accurate, because this particular wallet was forked from the Bitcoin wallet, and generally the Bitcoin blockchain is about 20 to 23 GB. The FLO wallet currently is about 3.9 or 4 GB. So it is something that needs to be corrected in the blockchain wallet. So we will just click on the default data directory and click on OK. Once you click on OK, you will just see this particular screen coming up, which is the FLO Core Wallet screen. And what I was just mentioning a few moments back is, once you start this wallet for the first time, it will show that you are 5 years and 9 weeks behind on the blockchain data, with the actual blockchain data available and the copy of data that you have. So this particular screen will show you the number of blocks that are left to be synced and the estimated time left. So it will depend entirely upon the internet speed that you're using. It generally takes about 5 to 6 hours to sync this entire blockchain with a lot of data getting downloaded. What you can do is, in the meantime, you can just click on this hide button and you can just have a look at the wallets and its functionalities while the data is getting downloaded at the backend. For our demonstration purposes, we also encourage you to download a copy of the data that has been hosted on our Google Drives so that you can just reduce this downloading time drastically. For that to happen, we'll need to close this wallet once. We'll just click on this close button and it will say that the FLO Core wallet is shutting down. And once that it shuts down, what we need to do is we need to download our FLO blockchain copy from the Google Drive, extract it, and replace it with the data directory that is created here. So let's just have a look at the data directory that this FLO Core wallet actually created. So if you remember, the data directory that was created was in home, in our user's name, and in that .flow. But we are here, but we can't see that particular data directory. What we need to do is we need to unhide that particular directory. So what Ubuntu allows you to do is you just can open a particular window, go to this top bar, and it will show you this view menu. In this view menu, you can just click on show hidden files or press Ctrl+H shortcut to show all the hidden files. Once we show all hidden files, you can just see that this .flow directory has been created by our wallet. as the data directory. If we just double click on it, we can see that some of the data has already been downloaded. What we will be doing is, we will be downloading the copy of the latest blockchain data file and extracting that and replacing that with this file, and then again running the wallet to get it synced quickly. So let's go ahead and do that. For that, we need to open our browser. Just go to YouTube. Once YouTube is open, you can search for our channel name SkyPiCast. I would suggest to all of you to subscribe to our channel so that you get all the updates that we post on our channel. We are also doing different types of courses other than blockchain that you will be seeing in future. So once this is open, just open the SkyPiCast FLO Blockchain Session Hands-on App Development playlist and go to the 5th video that we created for our last session. This particular video has the data download link, which I've also shared on the Telegram group also. Once it is opening, you just click on the description box and you can have the link for data downloading, the FLO Blockchain data downloading link on Google Drive. Just click on it and the Google Drive link should open. Once it is open, you just click on this particular download button and the downloading should start. If you can see here, it's a 1.7 GB of data, which is relatively smaller in size than the actual 4 GB data. So you can just download it and save it in your computer, and you can use it for your Ubuntu version also, and you can use it for Windows version also. It is the same data directory that can be used in any operating system. So you can just download it and extract it into your folder of choice. For this demonstration purposes, we have already downloaded this particular file and extracted it into our folder. So if you see, we have this particular, once you download it and extract it, you will have this folder, which will have all the data, including the testnet data, which is also synced. So what you need to do is, you just need to copy this entire data directory content and go to the home directory and the data directory that your FLO wallet created and just paste it over here. It will ask you to merge the data with the actual data that is available. You just click on apply and click merge. Again, click apply and replace. And it should start with replacing or copying all the data that is available in the latest blockchain data, and it should be ready with all the data that is available. So while we are copying these data, let's just talk about this wallet and its features. The FLOcore wallet that is currently available, it actually lets you create your receiving addresses. It lets you create any type of FLO RPC commands using its debug window. What it will also allow you to do is it will allow you to add a FLO data to any transaction that you want. So as we were talking in our previous sessions, for FLO data apps to happen, you just need to send the FLO data messages to the blockchain. You can create your own applications by calling the RPC commands or using some sort of SDKs to get this done. If you are new and do not have access to these SDKs or don't have the knowledge of programming, you can use the basic FLOcore wallet to perform transactions and create your own data in the blockchain. That is a very easy thing to do. So since this particular copying operation is going to take a little longer, this is the last step that we need to perform. And once that is done, we just need to start our wallet, and the wallet will be synced up to the latest data. For the purpose of this demonstration, we will just stop this at this moment and go to the next variant of installation, which is the Windows version. So I'll just save this machine at this juncture and move on to the setting up of the FLO wallet on Windows operating system. Please don't worry, I will show you once the data is synced, how does the wallet look and how to perform the RPC commands and sending and receiving flow. I do have one which has all the data synced. Please give me a moment to start the Windows VM. So while our Windows VM gets booted up, let's just see what we need to do to set up the flow on a Windows 10 computer. For the purpose of this demonstration, we are using Windows 10 build 1803. It is always recommended to use the latest versions of the operating systems that you are going to set up your FLO wallet on. Setting up a FLO wallet on a Windows operating system based system is also pretty straightforward. You will just need a system with preferably the latest version of the Windows, in our case, Windows 10. In this system, we just have to follow these steps that are mentioned on this particular slide and get our wallet set up. Nice and easy. The steps that we need to perform are downloading the FLO wallet, extracting the wallet, and just running the wallet, just as we did in the Ubuntu version. Setting up the data directory location for the first time, and then syncing the blockchain. That is pretty much it to set up your entire blockchain on a Windows operating system. So we will just start with our VM and see how it is being done. So this is a fresh Windows VM that I have just set up for this demonstration purposes. And in this particular Windows version also, we are going to do pretty much the same exact steps that we did on Ubuntu, except we do not need to perform those sudo apt-get update and apt-get upgrade commands over here. What we need to do is, in a Windows machine, we need to open flo.cache on the browser of your choice and go to the home page. In the home page, again, you just hover over the download wallet button and you should be presented with all the options of operating systems. You just go and click on the Windows. As usual, this should be you should be presented with a download option for the Windows setup file. As you can see, it's a 13.5 MB file that needs to be set up or that needs to be saved on your computer for it to work. As usual, for the purpose of this demonstration, I have already downloaded and saved it for your benefit. I'll just cancel it and show you where it is stored. Based on where your default download goes, in my computer, it goes to the download section, and you should be seeing this particular application setup file, which is the FLO.50 Win64 setup unsigned. It is a Windows 64 operating system that I'm using, so I have downloaded the 64-bit variant of the FLO version for Windows. Setting up this particular wallet on Windows is pretty straightforward. You just need to double click on this particular file and just accept. And you should be presented with the normal Windows installer setup type options. You should just click on next. You just need to set up the destination folder wherein this FLO wallet will be residing. I'll just let it be on its default directory, which is the program files, and then I'll click on next. It will just ask you to choose the start menu folder. Just click on install, and it should just start with the installation process, and it should be done in a few seconds. Once this FLO blockchain wallet is downloaded and set up on your computer, the next following steps will be pretty much same as it was done in Ubuntu, except the execution step. In Ubuntu, because we don't have a concept of executable files, the executable was run using the as a shell script using the /floqt from a terminal. In Windows, this particular wallet is available as a executable file. So you can just click on the checkbox on Run Flow Core and click on Finish, or I'll just remove it and show you where it has actually installed, and then we will run it from there. So just click on Finished. I'll just close this window, and if you go to Start, you should be seeing this in your recently added programs. It is available here. If you don't find it here, or if you have somehow missed it, you can just go to the actual folder where it was installed, which is Program Files. We'll just go to Program Files, and we will go to Flow. In here, you will just see that we have FLOQT. The directory structure of the FLO wallet in Ubuntu and in Windows is a little different. In Ubuntu, we did not have these daemon folders. We did not have these docs folders. We only had a few shell scripts that were to be executed. In Windows, the FLOQT application is available in the root of the FLO directory, and the FLOD and the FLO CLI are available in the daemon directory. So if you read, you can go to those folders and use them as per your requirements. What we will be doing is, we will just start with the FLOQT wallet. As usual, once we double click on it, it should start the FLO core wallet on our computer, and it should ask us the default data directory for the first time. In this also, if you see, the default data directory is our username, app data folder, roaming, and then FLO. So this is the default directory that FLO blockchain uses for storing the blockchain copy. You can use this default directory or just click on the radio button for custom data directory and change this entire location to the choice to your choice. As usual, it will take about 4 GB of data to store the entire blockchain till date. We will use the default data directory and click on OK. Once you click on OK, the FLO core should start, and it will again go to the sync steps that we were doing in the Ubuntu also. So as usual, this is the exact step that we were seeing on Ubuntu. The wallet in its look, in its feature, is exactly the same as you found in Ubuntu. You can just click on hide and see that all the functions are available and all the UI elements are exactly as per it was available in Ubuntu. For this Ubuntu Windows version also, what we can do is, we can just, in Windows, if your Windows Defender firewall is enabled, you might be seeing this particular screen. If you are seeing this screen, you need to allow the FLO core wallet on your private and public networks if you are planning on accessing this from external or private networks also. I do allow my FLO core wallet because I access it from my other systems on my local network. So I'll just click on allow. If you do not want that to happen, you at least need to allow it on public network, just because without allowing it on public network, your wallet won't be able to sync the data while going to the internet. So public network is something that you need to allow. Private network you need to allow if you are planning on using it for accessing it from your network computers or even on localhost. So I'll just click on both and click allow access. This is something that only comes in Windows if your Windows Defender firewall is enabled. So we will just allow it. So in this also, we can just go to YouTube, set up our Google Drive account, go to the link for Google Drive account for that particular blockchain data, download it, and then replace it into the data directory that Ubuntu, that FLO Core wallet created. For the purpose of demonstration, I have also downloaded this into this virtual machine, and I shall show you where to put that. If you just see, I have this directory available. What I'll do is I'll just copy all the data as we did in Ubuntu. In Windows, if you want to reach the data directory of the default location that FLO used, you can just click, you can just press the Windows and R button simultaneously on your VM, and it should open the run command or the run window. In this, to go to the app data of your particular user's directory, you just need to type in %app data and again %. This is a shortcut command to reach the app data directory of your current user. So if you just type in %app data and click on OK, you should be going directly to the username of your machine, app data roaming folder, which is the folder which FLO used to store its data. So you can see that here is the FLO data where all the directory is created for all the blockchain that it has synced till date. So we will just click on paste, and all the data should be copied over here, and it should once it is copied, it should be synced to the latest about 23rd August 2018 till it should be synced. So in here also it will take some time. So we will just stop it at here, and we will see it in a system where the syncing has been done, and we'll see how the wallet will actually work. So just give me a few moments to save this particular VM and resume with our presentation and seeing how it works. So once we are done with all the setting up of the wallet, and once we have copied our FLO blockchain data into the data directory and got it synced, what we should next do is, if we require, we can just change some of the configurations that are available in the FLO configuration file, which is also known as the flo.conf file. In the next section of this particular presentation, we are going to look at this particular flo.conf file and different parameters that it has. What we will be doing here is, we will just have a look at some of the parameters in this presentation, and we will then straight again jump to the actual flo.conf file and tinker around it and see what those changes do. So let's go ahead and have a look at it. Once you open the flo.conf file in your FLO data directory, you should be presented with a file which we have also shared a copy with you in the data directory, is some of these values. In the flo.conf file, it is actually a configuration file which actually lets you configure the behavior of your FLO wallet. The configuration file is same for all operating system variants of the wallet. Let's just go ahead and have a look at the different configuration parameters. The first parameter that you're seeing is the testnet parameter. As we discussed during our previous discussions, a blockchain generally runs in 2-3 different networks. The mainnet or the live net is the network where actual transactions happen with the actual crypto token, in our case the FLO tokens. There is also a parallel separate network known as the testnet, wherein developers and testers try out the blockchain for their applications in a test environment. This is called the testnet. One more network is also available, which is generally used for regression testing and is called the regression testnet. That can also be used. So what we are seeing here is, if the testnet is equal to value is set to 1, your FLO wallet will work in the testnet mode. But if it is set as testnet equal to 0, it should be working on a live net or a mainnet. The next option that is generally available in a flow.conf file is the tx index. It also accepts binary values, meaning it will accept either 1 or 0 as its parameter values. Tx index equal to 1 enables the indexing of transactions in your wallet. If this option is enabled, all the transactions in the blockchain are indexed in your wallet too, and RPC calls getting information about transactions can be done. If this is disabled, you can only get information about transactions which are in the mempool and are visible in your wallet. Once transactions are in mempool, it means they have not been confirmed. Once those transactions are confirmed and go to the blockchain, you won't be able to see those transactions using RPC calls if the transaction index or TX index is disabled. So this is something which you can use if you are planning to use your wallet in getting data from the blockchain wallet, from the blockchain in its entirety as well. But it obviously takes some extra space, so that you need to take that into consideration. Another configuration parameter that is available is server. Server equal to 1, it enables this option. Server equal to 0 disables the option. Server equal to 1 allows the wallet to actually work as a server, as a JSON-RPC server. In blockchains, in Flow, you can communicate with the blockchain using RPC or remote procedure call commands, which are also called JSON-RPC, because the transactions that are sent and the responses that are received from the blockchain are in form of JSON, JavaScript object notation. So these are called JSON-RPC commands. So if you want your wallet to become a server and respond to RPC commands, you need to enable this using server equal to 1. Another parameter that is available is daemon equal to 1, which starts the flow d daemon, which we saw in the directory of the Flow wallet. It actually starts the flow d daemon, which is a headless variant of this wallet, and it runs in background and listens to all incoming requests coming to the wallet or the flow d. Another command that we see here is listen equal to 1. Enabling this with 1 makes the wallet listen to all the nodes in the blockchain network. If you disable it using listen equal to 0, it will disable the listening option and will result in a fewer number of nodes getting connected to your wallet. Some of the other options that are available in flow.conf are these. The first option that we see here is RPC server equal to 1. This one option enables the Flow wallet to accept RPC commands and makes the Flow wallet as an RPC server. It tells the wallet to act as an RPC server and listen to the port which is mentioned in the RPC port value, here in our example 7313, from the IPs that you have allowed using the RPC allow IP parameter, using the credentials that are mentioned in RPC user and RPC password. So these 5 parameters that you see are all interconnected. Once you set up your wallet to become an RPC server, you need to specify which port it will listen to. You also need to specify which IPs will it receive the data from or community requests from, because you can just whitelist the IPs from where the communications or transactions will come, and your RPC server will allow transactions only from those particular IPs. If you see in our demonstration, there is only one RPC allow IP option available, which is 127.0.0.1. It means that we are allowing our own computer, the local host, to make these RPC commands possible. If you want to add other IP addresses to the list, you can just copy paste this value with the new IP address, and you can have multiple IP addresses with different RPC allow IP parameters available. The RPC username and RPC password you need to set, and these will be used whenever you make RPC commands to the FLOD or FLO wallet. The next set of parameters that you are seeing are pretty much same. They are add node parameters. These are some of the nodes that the FLO community has shared of some of the peer nodes that are available in the FLO blockchain. You can just head over to the Bitcoin Talk forum of FLO or forum.flo.cash to get all the node details for the FLO blockchain. These nodes are actually the seed nodes or the nodes from nodes where your wallet will start connecting to, and from there it will start sharing data and syncing data from the entire FLO blockchain. As we discussed in our previous slide about RPC calls are also called JSON-RPC calls. JSON-RPC or remote procedure calls simply imply that the RPC interaction with the blockchain will use JSON as its data structure for all the requests and responses. The FLO RPC is used by authenticated clients to connect to a running instance of the FLO daemon or FLOD. When we say authenticated clients, these authenticated clients are mentioned in the FLO.conf file from RPC allow IP and using the RPC user and password detail credentials. The clients issue the RPC commands to send transactions, get status, and a variety of other purposes. These RPC commands can be issued directly also from the debug window of the wallet under the help menu. We will definitely look at those when we are completed with this particular presentation. We can also issue these commands using the terminal using the FLO CLI utility. I think you must be remembering when we saw the FLO wallet file, we saw generally three files available. One was the FLO QT, the desktop variant, one was FLOD, the daemon file, and one was the FLO CLI, which is the CLI utility. We can also use this to execute RPC commands. Once you are into the terminal of the FLO CLI utility or you are in the debug window of the wallet, if you want to know which RPC commands are available in FLO blockchain, you can simply type help and press enter button to get a list of all the commands that are available in the FLO CLI. One of the most basic and important transactions or features of a FLO wallet is sending and receiving flow. To send flow to any address, we just need to know the address of the recipient's FLO wallet or their public key. Once you send the flow to the recipient's address, the sent amount of flow plus the transaction fee is deducted from your wallet balance. To receive any flow from any sender, you just need to create one receiving address in your wallet and share that address or public key either in form of text or in form of the QR code that is generated with the sender. Once the sender has that key or the address, he can send the flow to your address, which will be available in your wallet as spendable token after they are confirmed. Till they are confirmed, they will show up in your address, but as pending amount. So let's just go and see how this particular FLO wallet works and how the RPC commands work. So let's just stop this slideshow for a moment and go to a FLO wallet which has all the data synced up. So for the purpose of this demonstration, we are using the testnet variant of our FLO core wallet, which has been set using the flow.conf file, and it has been set as testnet equal to 1. One more thing that I want to mention here is, if you want to run your wallet into testnet, we will be needing some testnet IPs to be added into the add node. What we have done is, once you have a look at the flow data that you have downloaded from our YouTube Google Drive, you will be seeing a flow.conf file that is available in our data directory. In that flow.conf file, what we have done is, we have made two sections, one for mainnet nodes and one for testnet nodes. In testnet nodes, there are two nodes which are available for testnet. I'll just open up that particular file in my system and show you. So if you see this, this is the flow.conf file that I am using for this demonstration. In this, what I have done is, I have enabled the testnet mode by setting testnet equal to 1. All the other options like tx index equal to 1 and all these are enabled because I want to use the transaction index, I want to use the wallet as a server, I want to use the daemon options, I want to listen to all the nodes, and I also want to use it as the RPC server. In here, you also see one additional option which I did not mention in the previous slides, is gen equal to 0. This is a option that has been discontinued in the recent versions of the blockchain wallet. This was an option wherein if you enable this, your wallet would act as a CPU miner in itself. But since the new version, the 0.15 version, this generate option or the miner option has been disabled in the wallet by itself. So even enabling this won't start any mining. So the mining that needs to be done using the options that we discussed in our previous sessions. In this, if you see, I have allowed 3 IPs in my local network to allow this particular wallet. For the demonstration, I have deleted my username and password. If you see in the file that we have provided you on Google Drive also, you will have these two sections. One is the test nodes and one is the mainnet nodes. In the testnet nodes, we have two nodes, these IP addresses, which need to be uncommented whenever you are using testnet equal to 1. Whenever you want to go to mainnet, you just need to change this testnet equal to 1 to testnet equal to 0. And what you will need to do is comment these two lines of add node in testnet section. To comment, you just need to put a hash before the lines. What you also need to do is, once you want to start your wallet in a mainnet, you just need to change testnet equal to 0 and comment out all the testnet nodes and uncomment all the mainnet nodes. So what you can just do is, you can just uncomment like this, and you just save it and stop the wallet, restart it, and your wallet will be starting on mainnet. So we will be doing our demonstration on testnet. So we will just see how it is done. So if you see, this particular wallet is completely synced up and ready because there is no message that is being shown here. Now we have about a few balances, tokens available in our testnet for testing purposes. What we can do is we can see how to run the RPC commands. To run RPC commands directly through this wallet, you just need to go to the help section and go to the debug window. In the debug window, when you click, you will have this particular window come up. In this, you will have a tab called console. In this tab called console, you can just click in this bottom part and type in the command that you want to run as part of your RPC command. Obviously, for the first timers, you won't be knowing all the commands that are available. So you just need to type in help and click enter. Once you click on enter, what you will see is you will see a list of all the RPC commands. They are plenty in the particular FLO wallet that we have available. What they have done is in this help command, they have categorized all the RPC commands into different sections. Like this particular section, all the commands are related to the blockchain and its blockchain details. The other are control, then generating, mining, network, raw transactions, and some transactions available are wallet. So the most basic transaction that is needed to perform any transaction is this one, which is available under wallet options. It is called send to address. This send to address command is the most basic command that is used to send a FLO token to some other person to their address. This is the command that is used by RPC to send FLO tokens to some other address. We generally use this RPC command in our SDKs and all the command line parameters to send this transaction. If you want to do this transaction using a command line, you can use this particular send to address. And if you want to perform it using the UI, you always have those options. We can just have a look at one of the transactions that we can just perform here. We just need to, if we want to see the address that we have, we just need to type get balance and we just press enter. So if you see, once we press the get balance command and we press the enter button, the command got executed and we are seeing that we have about 20,472 testnet tokens available with us. We can also click on another command which is called get info, which will show you all the JSON values of the wallet's informations. So you can see the version of the wallet, you can see the balance, number of blocks that the blockchain has, difficulty, whether testnet is enabled or not, and all these sort of things. So you can just tinker around with all these RPC commands at your time, and you can just see which transactions or which RPC commands do what. Sometimes, if you perform an RPC command which is not valid, it actually says or it actually mentions all the details that need to be passed. Say for example, we do the transaction send to address without any parameters that are required and we enter the button. So you will see that in the red, it is showing that this particular command that we executed is not valid, and to actually do a valid transaction, we need to perform this transaction using the parameters. And in fact, all the parameters or arguments are mentioned here, and one line description of all these are also mentioned. You can also do one thing if you want to know how a particular command works. Say for example, how the send to address works. You can just type help and then space and actual command that needs to be that you need information about. So in our case, we will just look at the send to address help. So help and send the command name will give you all the help details that particular RPC command has. So this is something wherein you can use and you can see what the transactions do, how those transactions are executed using RPC commands. So this is something that we can perform using the debug console under the help command. What we can also do is we can execute these exact steps using the FLO CLI utility. So let's just go to the FLO CLI utility under the program files. We'll just open a terminal window. In Windows, this is a command prompt. We just start a command prompt and we go to the program files where our FLO wallet was stored under the name FLO. In here, if we see the directory structure, we have pin and we see we have FLO CLI, FLO QT, FLO TX, FLO D, and test flow. All these are available over here. So if we want to run FLO CLI, what we need to do is we need to just type in FLO-CLI and then space and run the command that you want. Say for example, we want to run the get balance command. We'll just click get balance and click enter. Okay, so it is taking some time. Probably I need to run the FLO D in a separate terminal also. Let me just check. Oh, it just took some time. So you just see, this is the output that this particular command gave, which is the exact output that we got in our debug console window. So using this FLO CLI, we can perform the exact RPC commands. We can execute the exact RPC command that we can execute using the debug console. We can perform all those commands using this particular CLI control also. So you can just see it over here, and you can just get all the informations about all the RPC commands over here. So let's just move ahead and see how to send or receive flow. So for this demonstration purposes, we don't have a sender or receiver other than me available for this particular demonstration. What I will do is I have created one test address in my wallet for this particular session. What I did is I'll create another for your information also. What we need to do is we'll just go to the receive section of our wallet. We can just add any name that we want to assign to this particular address. Let's just say we call it my flow session address. And what we just need to do is we just need to click on this request payment button. Once we click on this particular window will come with a QR code of the address, which is our public key, and the address where senders will send flow tokens to. We can also copy this address from here, or just clicking on this particular button, you can copy the address and save it or send it to anyone. You can also save this image or QR code and paste it into your website if you are receiving payments from people for your website or anywhere, or you can just send it to your friend wherein he can just use this particular QR code and send flow tokens to you. What we are going to do is we'll just copy this particular address and we will be sending our own tokens to ourselves only. So for sending tokens, what we need to do is we need to go to the send section of this wallet. This is a section that is used to send flow addresses, send flow to any addresses. So we will go to the pay to section and paste the address that we just created. If that particular address has a label attached, it will just come over here. Then you need to specify how many flow tokens you are going to send to this address. For this demo, we are going to send 10 testnet flows. The bottom part of this wallet, which you are seeing, is there is a section called flow data. In this particular flow data section, what we will be doing is we can put in any plain text information which will go to the blockchain as part of our transaction. So I'll just type in some test message. This is a test sent during SkyPiCast sessions. Let's just say that. And what we need to do is, what we see here is there is a transaction fee that has been calculated based on the data and the number of flows that we are sending. We can also change this particular transaction fee, but I won't recommend you to change this transaction fee and let it automatically calculate, because if you try to change this flow transaction fee and you put in a very low value, your transaction may not get mined. in a mainnet. In testnet, it doesn't matter. It will get mined no matter what, because the miners are pretty much are not looking for the rewards as part of transaction fee. So once your transaction is done, you're set, you just need to click on the send button to send the transaction to the FLO blockchain. What we'll do is we'll just click send, and it will just ask you for your confirmation. It will just show you all the details, and the yes button gets activated in about 3 seconds, and then you just click on send. So once you click on send, you can just see on your transactions window that there is a transaction that has happened. Since the transaction that we did, the sending and receiving address both belong to my own wallet. So it automatically says that the payment was done to myself. Okay, and the flow data that was sent is mentioned here, and the actual amount that got transacted was minus 0.00008660. So actually we sent about 10 flows and we got that 10 flow back. So this particular transaction amount that you're seeing is the only transaction fee that has been paid by us for performing this transaction. So if you see, there is an icon in the left side of this particular message which says unconfirmed, which means this transaction that we have done has not been confirmed by the miners. But still, we can see the details of the transaction on any blockchain explorer, tested blockchain explorers. What we need to do is, we just need to double click on this transaction, go to this window, see the transaction ID for this particular transaction, double click on it, copy it, and then we will just open a blockchain explorer of our choice. We saw some blockchain explorers of Flow. One was flowche.in. So we are just going to open the testnet variant of that using the testnet.flowche.in, and we will just click on this flow chain and we'll open it and just enter. What should happen here is you will be seeing the transaction details that we performed, and this transaction details are all available in the blockchain explorer. Though they are not confirmed, this is available. This is the message that we performed. This is a test message sent during SkyPiCast sessions. So this is available in the blockchain. So that is pretty easy and exciting, if I say so. So let's just go back to our presentation and finish this session. So that's it for today's session, and in our next session we will be starting our discussions
Thank you, everyone. I think it was a great session today. We did surpass some time, but it was in light of what we were trying to achieve. So thank you one and all for joining the session today. And we'll also be uploading this session onto the YouTube as always and updating them. I'm sure many of you would have questions. So please email them or put them in a Facebook post page of SkyPiCast, or you can also write them on here onto the conversation window. And appreciate again people coming in, and I know that it's not easy to focus for an hour, but thank you very much one and all. Thank you. See you on the next session, which will happen on next Tuesday, 9 p.m. IST. We'll be talking about Flow SDK in detail. So I would sincerely appreciate if all of you would want to download a Flow wallet yourself and check it out. I'm sure you'll have some issues because we have experienced while working with different people before at a community level where they have come back with more questions, either due to some issues in configuration of their system or being not able to sync the file and things like that. So if you face any of those challenges or issues, please do not worry much about it, and feel free to ping us or reach us out and talk to us about it. Thank you very much, and speak to you all on Tuesday. And this was Amitesh signing on behalf of Abhijit for the session. Thank you.